This is part 24 of our Links to the Past 100% walkthrough. And this part, we're going through the first part of Turtle Rock, our favorite dungeon. Actually, Red and I's favorite dungeon in the game. And we'll get the compass, the map, and the big key.
I'm excited to finally get to this dungeon.
Agreed.
I feel like, the
what's our favorite dungeon? Why wouldn't you be excited to get to it?
Plus the Ice Palace and Misery Mire, especially the Ice Palace.
I'm knocking myself, by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
We're both, just kind of... Well, we hated the Ice Palace.
Yes,
the Misery Mire was kind of mediocre, so we were excited to get to this one.
Agreed. I cut you off like 5 times.
It's all right.
But
I was going to power through and get to my point eventually.
One thing I love, and we kind of see the rocky walls right there, the rocky look of the walls. Now, it looks pretty much like any other cave we've been to in the game, but just having that as a dungeon just made it look really different. Yeah, some of the other dungeons had different color, but this one looks completely different. Whatever about that bar right there, he got lucky, but
that bar kind of screwed you on that.
That's one of the main reasons I like it, because it just looks so much different.
Plus, how about the use of the Cane of Samaria?
Yes.
It's so much better than just creating a block to hold down a switch. Actually using it to create these platforms, I thought was such an innovative use of the cane, and I really, really loved it.
And it's something that they've not used again since that time. I don't
believe
that. So I agree with you. I did really like that too as a mechanic.
Yep.
And just one of those things that kind of added. Okay, we already got the different look of the dungeon.
Yep.
You talked about it. A new different mechanic. So just those two combined right there just really helped the dungeon stand out.
And I will say, you see a lot of these areas where we're either riding moving platforms or we're going through pipes that have a bunch of different routes.
You'll see that a little bit later on in the dungeon.
Yeah, and it looks like it's a very confusing dungeon at first glance, but really once you kind of get the hang of it,
I remember getting lost quite a bit in this dungeon, so I don't know if I feel the same way about that. But
obviously once you know where you're going, it's a lot easier. But it's one of those where it looks more confusing than it really is. I think.
And this is the first time we got those spiked
logs.
They're not really logs. It's spiked. Whatever. Spiked something.
Rolling thingies.
Spiked rollers. Spiked rollers. Looks like a kitchen item right there or something like that.
Anytime they introduce new things this late in the game, I'm always cool with that.
It's with Thieves Town and Ice Palace and Misery Mire, we got a couple different enemies, but for other than the color, those dungeons were not similar, but they kind of felt the same. Actually, the Ice Palace did look quite different.
Well, yeah.
But like you said, we kind of get here, we get some different enemies and just some different mechanics, and really we haven't had too many different mechanics in the dungeon.
We really haven't.
Except for the item you got in the dungeon.
Well, this one, like you said, throwing the moving platforms at you, throwing those rolling logs, and there's 2 or 3 other new enemies that do pop up in this dungeon. That really kind of gives it. It's I know we're late in the game, but it's cool to keep seeing new characters.
It just looks more menacing, like this room right here. And the only reason we're in this room is because it has a ferry, or the next room has a ferry. So I kind of just wanted to show you all it's there. But just with the spikes in this room, the spiked logs, it just looks more of a dangerous dungeon than all the other dungeons we've been through so far.
I gotta say, you were doing so good with those platforms too until 2 in a row. Gotcha.
Dude, those things are actually kind of tough. The angles are coming at it. You don't know. Okay, do I use my sword or do I just try to dodge them? So
and especially with those spikes,
but
with those spikes, the room's so much smaller. So you can't just
that's true.
You can't just get in a corner and avoid them.
Really, if you angle yourself, you're fine.
Yeah.
But I said, just sometimes you think you're going to hit it with a sword, and you just don't.
Now this dungeon, I will say, I feel like it has a lot of fairies in it. Like you said, you wanted to show them that room with the one fairy in it.
Yeah.
I feel like there are quite a few.
Well, there's that one room they have the what's it called, the red things that actually don't have red.
The bubbles? Are they bubbles?
No, they're not bubbles. I can't remember what they're called.
I can never remember what they're called.
But there's 4 of those in one room, which is pointless, I guess. But
it really is.
Like you said. There's those, and there's we'll see the pipes room. Well, actually, it is pipes rooms because there's 2 rooms.
There's multiple rooms.
I'll figure it out. I'll spit it out sometime. Here's one of them, but you'll see them right. Those are actually they got the skull in the are bubbles. They're bubbles.
Okay.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if they were or not.
You're right.
I wasn't sure. I was asking.
But there's a lot of bubbles throughout the dungeon. Well, I get those and sparks mixed up.
Oh, me too. But they're a great source for fairies. So. There are plenty of them throughout this dungeon. And kind of on that same note, though, that the tile you read at the very beginning, where old man Sriracha Sauce said, if you don't have the medicine of magic, you shouldn't proceed. but there's a ton of magic containers to refill your magic gear.
Definitely. And the big ones too, like not the small ones that are just like a tease basically.
Exactly.
So, now that last room in there, like with the pipes over the lava, that's one of my favorite rooms in this entire game.
It looks beautiful.
Okay, first of all, the pipes. I was just a huge fan of that because it's kind of like a maze in a way, but it's just another new mechanic.
It is.
That like going through pipes, that really doesn't make sense how Link gets through them that quickly. But whatever.
And how he fits when they get really narrow.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just a cool concept, and then have it going over all this lava once again looks a little more menacing, looks a little more dangerous.
Plus, we've talked in some videos about kind of like the throwbacks or the comparisons with Mario games. When you see pipes and you see the lava, you think Bowser's Castle, you think Mario.
Exactly, that's just a good point.
And then we also saw the Chain Chomps a few minutes ago.
That's a good point,
which I thought it really makes it feel like a connection with the Mario
Towards the end, it's not like the last, you usually see that in the last castle in Mario. Now this isn't the last dungeon.
No,
it was the last dungeon with the crystal, so
yeah.
I mean, I guess you kind of look at it as like, it's kind of towards the end of the game. Maybe Mario actually had a little bit of an influence on this dungeon. You could say that.
But man, I do love how this room looks though with the lava and the pipes.
I mean, it's just one of those things like gamers nowadays, maybe like if you're a younger gamer, like you see that and you're like, well, you're so used to the awesome HD graphics, and nowadays you don't understand that like back in the day, something that small and like whatever like visual they used, it actually looked like the lava was moving a little bit. Like that was just cool at like in '92.
By the way, I really liked using the fire rod on those guys because normally
the Hoku Boku.
Yeah,
Hoku Boku. That's a fun name to say. I'm not gonna lie.
But the fire rod kills him in one hit, which is great. But this will go ahead and actually wrap up part 24 of our Link to the Past 100% walkthrough
and part 1 of Turtle Rock.